Hello, fun people.
because it's chilly in San Francisco.
But we decided to be outside because it's yummier energy, because guess what? The sun is shining just a little bit.
It's debatable.
Okay. So we were kind of playing with a conversation this morning. Sorry. I'm Dr. Christina Meekum. She's
Adele King.
And we're two buddies that have conversations in consciousness pretty much on a daily basis because we can't stop talking about fun stuff.
Pretty much our favorite thing to do.
It's for sure my favorite thing. Consciousness, as I like to say, is the most fun ever. What is consciousness, Adele?
Consciousness is a thing.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a little confused about what's going.
No,
we are. We're live, but
what you doing, buddy?
I'm looking for something.
We'll just talk.
All right,
we'll
just talk.
Stop. Okay. So one of Gary Douglas, I believe he's the one that said consciousness includes everything and judges nothing, including judgment. And so that's just such a beautiful thing, because in this reality, people have so many judgments about. Sorry, coughing.
People have so many judgments about coughing.
They have judgments about pretty much everything, and mostly about themselves or what's going on in the universe. And I just don't find that helps anything. Because pretty much my favorite thing that I ever learned from Access Consciousness was how to know what was true for you.
My favorite thing about judgment that I've heard is that judgments are like when people fart, but it's like farts coming out of their mouth, and they're mouth farters.
They're mouth farters. So judgments are pretty
So
silly.
you don't have to make it mean anything.
Once I realized it was just someone's point of view, and it wasn't actually real or true, and it was just it showed me where they were functioning from, I was like, oh, cool. That's where they're functioning from. That's awesome. Thank you for the awareness. Oh, wow, you're watching. I'm not going to bring you on camera if that's okay.
I can't see the comments. I want to be able to see the comments.
Why can't we see
if anybody sees comments?
Because we're
I don't know. Maybe I can.
Maybe there's no comments.
Maybe there's no comments yet.
Anyway,
okay.
We'll just have a conversation with ourselves because we have the most fun ever.
We're doing at the moment. Whew, regrouping.
Be here now.
I am.
You know what consciousness is?
Being here now.
Well, that's part of it. For sure. It's a little challenge when you make an actual choice if you're not present in the moment to what is actually true for you. So, anyway, I was talking about the fact of knowing what was true for you. Yeah. It's my favorite thing that I ever got from Access Consciousness, and the reason I became a facilitator. I'm pretty magical at it.
Well, and not just you're magical, but you're really magical at inviting other people to it, which is
thanks,
that's
buddy.
The real
oh, that's awesome. I do think it's the most fun thing ever. I find that people are always like, oh, I stymied by choice. What should I choose? Should I choose this? Should I choose that?
I can't tell. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I was like that all the time. And then when I learned the tools, I became a chiropractor, and I used to use muscle testing, where you push on someone's arm. Here, I'll push on her arm. Whoop.
Don't let me.
Say, hi, I'm Adele King.
Hi, I'm Adele King.
Now say, hi, I'm Dr. Christina Meekum.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Meekum.
Well, her body goes weak on the second one. I don't have to push any differently, but her body goes weak on the second one because it's not congruent with her. Her body knows she's what? Lying. So what I found was that I began to be able to, I was doing emotional work people called neuro-emotional technique before I discovered Access Consciousness, and I began to just hear every single person talking all the time. Hi, Keith, Freddie, hi, Doc. It's a chiropractor. So I began to hear all the time when people were saying something that was true for them or not. And just because I began to know that their body would either be strong when they were saying something that was truly true for them, or their whole body would go like weak when they would be saying something that was a lie. Did you ever see someone after a breakup and they're like, I'm really fine with it? And their whole body's screaming no, and there's something wrong. Anyway. The point being, we mostly are lying to ourselves. So most people are kind of in a story. If you're having anything that in your life seems like a difficulty, you're probably telling yourself a story about it. That's the good news, because you can change that, actually.
I spent 10 years in therapy dealing with depression, and I would do a lot of journaling. And I always found when I was upset, I could flip back a few pages in my journal and find where I was either lying to myself or had lied, wasn't being totally honest with somebody else. If somebody asked me to do something and I said yes when it really wasn't a yes for me, then 2 days later I'd be pissed and depressed and could go back and be oh, no, I really didn't want to do that. And either I could go and change it now or make a different choice or whatever, make it okay with me. But
and here's the thing is that's an example of her not honoring her and or not knowing what was true for her. So the more you can begin to play with the tool of I'm going to say something mean to my best friend so that it evokes a response. Okay. No, I am. Because if I was to say to her, you're a freaking piece of shit, it's heavy, right? Because it's a lie. And if I was to say I love you and you're my most fun friend ever, like her whole body gets like happy, and she wags her tail a little bit, like, and there's little champagne bubbles of joy. And so what is true for you will always make you feel lighter. It's like that absolutely yes, like,
And that's light is like happy, like joyful, like
like
sunshine.
you go like, oh yeah,
bubbly,
that.
like
I'm choosing that.
yeah. And one of the things I've noticed is, to me, that's so much like goes hand in hand with like feeling alive and feeling like
Yeah, of
fulfilled
course.
and like so when people are in their life and they're like bogged down and heavy and like miserable in their life, it's like, okay, what are the things in your life that aren't working for you, and like where have you decided that you don't have a choice in that? Like, because we actually create our life with our choices.
Every single one.
And sometimes people get themselves into these kind of corners where they feel like they don't have a choice for whatever reason.
And notice how heavy that is, by the way.
You always have a choice.
You always have a choice.
And this is like easier, right? Like I have definitely struggled with this concept. So it's easy for me to sit here and be like, you always have a choice and your choice creates your life. And that sounds great, but the pragmatics of that, like, and I have also worked with so many people who call me oftentimes in hysterics when they are in these corners and know what they'd like to choose, but feel like they can't, and kind of guiding them to like, okay, what would be true for you and what would you like to choose and how can that choice actually be available to you? Because you do actually always have a choice, even when it feels like you don't, or it feels impossible, or it seems like it's too hard. There is a way, and
I have something funny.
it lightens things up when you can get to that. Yeah, it was your funny thing.
Which, by the way, I was reading the book The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, which is brilliant, by the guy who wrote Profit First, which is brilliant also. No, I love books, you know that. And so, but I was reading and he was talking about what kind of lights you up every day. And I realized, hey, Elliot, and I realized what lights me up is lightening up others. And I was like, oh my God, that's like so fun. That's the most fun ever. And it's part of what I do as my job. Is that, hi, what's up? I do that in my job as a chiropractor because I take people that are like compressed and then they go like this, like, and their body goes from compression, mechanical compression, into like ease and joy. And it's the same thing with somebody when they're in a point of view that's limiting their life, which is
energetic compression. I mean,
energetic compression.
Depression.
I say it's not, well, sometimes it's depression, but it's still compression, like both. The whole point is it's usually from some ridiculous limiting belief that someone else is coffee. That's funny.
That is one way of lightening
One
up
cup. That's all I
sometimes.
allow myself a day. I'm already too excited about consciousness and chiropractic. Okay, so here's the thing: is like we were having a conversation. It's based on something Simone Milasas says. Boy, I never can say her name. Simone Milasas. I said it right.
Some people say molasses.
Anyway, the point is she's brilliant about The Joy of Business. Also another great book if you have especially if you have your own business, but if you're in business at all. Because joy and business, what? Most people can't put those together, but for sure they're together in my business. So anyway, she said, what is your big ask? So I was thinking about, what is my big ask? And it was something, well, it's something that I read years ago in Gary Douglas's book, one of his books, The Advanced How to Become Money Workbook. He wrote, I wasn't thinking about money. I was being that which would generate and create more consciousness on the planet. Can you just kind of look at the energy of that? Being that, it's a little sunny over here, Elliot, but being that which would create more consciousness on the planet. People, like, when they want to know what consciousness is, like, do you get what it might be like if even, I don't know, like 1% of people on the planet were happier? Had like even 10% more joy in their life? Or had that, even just had the understanding that they had a choice about all of it. I'm a person who's had like chronic pain, like abuse, whatever in my background. And the fact is, you just choose to be joyful anyway. Okay? Because right now, here in the moment, I could just choose anything. And what I choose is to be a contribution. So.
When I wonder too, like, how many people give up on their big ask or their vision for their life. And if they knew, like, oh, I have a choice. I could create it. I could choose it.
Well, just notice if I said you don't have a choice, it's flippity flapping heavy. So, like, it's just not real. You don't have a choice, Adele. It's heavy. It's a made up story and it's a lie. I mean, here's the thing is like people are going to watch this later and they're going to be there are some people that will actually take it and go, oh my God, the truth is a light for me, like feeling like my body kind of lightens up and lifts up almost. And a lie will like compress my body. And some people will take that and run with it. And they will only choose what lights them up. They will choose to walk down this street because it's lighter for them, open a bank account at that, go on this date or not that one, which is still one of my favorite stories, by the way. We won't tell that story, okay? But like they'll go in the direction of what feels lightest to them. Okay, whether it's joining a coaching group. I actually didn't take my first patient this year that asked me for help, that was like begging me for help, because everything inside me was like a no. Like it was so heavy. It was so heavy. And I don't know. I just trust my knowing enough to be like, I need to refer you to somebody else because I'm obviously not the right practitioner for her. Vandersloot! Margaritaville. Okay. Hi. So we're talking about choice and things like that. And what is your big ask? Like a big ask can be for you. It can be for the planet. It can, tequila does get your barriers down. It lightens people up. And they say on Facebook that it's paleo and a probiotic. Not sure if that's true. Dr. Meekum is not saying that. Christina is. So, because if it's on Facebook, it must be true.
When in doubt, drink it out.
They will say that. That's a true story. But so anyway, big ask. So if you were going to ask yourself, there's easy asks. Like one time I was like, hey, I'd like a pair of, somebody was saying about Kristen Louboutin shoes at T and Todd, however you say it. And I went, oh, those are so pretty. I'd love a pair. And I hadn't decided that I couldn't have them. And so the woman goes, okay, sure. What size are you? And I was like, what? And she gave me a pair of Kristen Louboutins. And they're so high that I never wear them. Hey, Patty Curry! So the point is, so like I got something through an easy ask because I didn't have the point of view that I couldn't freaking have it. So everywhere you've decided, judged, and concluded that you can't have anything, will you just try and create that now?
Yes.
And you know the rest. We're not going to pod pocket, okay?
Pod pocket.
Hot pocket.
So one of my favorite things too about
I have 2 housekeepers text me, Elliot. Okay.
One of my favorite things about easy asks and big asks is the idea that if you can perceive it, you can be it, and that like basically it's like if you can imagine something like having a castle or going on a trip to some exotic place or creating a business, like whatever it is for you, that if you can even think it, it's a possibility for you.
And it's probably more perceive it, right? Than think it.
Yes.
Because we're not thinking gets in the way of most fun. She makes fun of me all the time because I start so many sentences with I think, and then I'm in my head as opposed to what I know.
I was thinking about this thought
I was thinking about this. So like she always goes, well, were you thinking or did you know? She asked me that about 10,000 times. Well, were you thinking or did you know? What do you know about that? What can you choose about that right now that you never even considered before? Yes. So she's a brilliant bestie. But yes, if you can perceive something, my kitty cat is right here. He's the freaking cutest. I can perceive my kitty cat. Come here, buddy.
So what is your I'm curious for
hey, somebody throw out there in the chat. What's your big ask besides a housekeeper? Because I already got Elliot already.
What stands in the way of that showing up for you?
Silly limitations, heavy thoughts, heavy silliness.
Isn't it just like the decision that you can't have it? Because if you have that point of view, your point of view creates your reality. And as long as you decided you can't have it, then guess what? You're right.
You can't. You're a brilliant creator of magnitude of crapitude.
But if you're willing to just look at that like, Elliot wants to see the cat. Wants to see Zachy Doodle.
Doodle. I'm like torturing him now.
If you, hi Zachary. He's like, hi, say hi.
Hi. He was like, I'm out of here. I'm a cat. I don't want you to hold me. He's the snuggliest cat I ever had, too, so that's ironic, don't you think? A little too ironic. Yeah, so anyway, so here's the thing is, like, Adele has a big ass that's a castle.
Yeah.
Like, but we know another friend that got a castle. She wants the castles all over the world.
I want a castle and a mansion and an island.
I know.
All the things.
So, hey, Carolyn Mond. Well, so, like, really, it's like, who can help her with that? What else is possible?
I like that question.
It's from the Joy of Business book, by the way. so who can help her with that? Because I think I'd love to go visit all of Adele's castles. Okay.
Well, and who can I contribute to that by contributing to them would create more of what I'm interested in.
Right. Well,
and
Zig
more
Ziglar.
Joy in the world and more possibilities for other people and everyone. Hello.
Hi. Well, Zig Ziglar said that if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. Well, we don't use the
Yes.
word want a lot because it means lack.
Yeah, there's
And
like 26
want.
definitions of the word want that means
Well, people
to
go,
lack, and
"I
like
really
one
want
that's to
this.
desire.
I really want
I
it.
really do.
And then
I'm
other
just
people
kidding.
are like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to have it.
I'm having it.
I'm having it. I'll be
And-
or do whatever it takes.
And you can kind of go shopping for your big ask for your reality that way, like looking around the world and seeing what other people have, and just go,
or what
I'll
they've
have that.
created and
Like yesterday,
contributed.
I was watching on Netflix something about like the world's greatest houses or something, and just kind of seeing like what are people choosing that have really cool homes, and what would I like my future mansion to look like? Do you need what?
Well, it's a good question because she wasn't on for the early part, Carolyn one, but
Big ass.
it's more just when people say the word need. We were talking about light and heavy because what is light for you will always lighten you up, and what is heavy, like, and the word need, you may notice is heavy because needs are kind of invented. Most of us will be like, I need this, I need that, but we don't really need it. We're just like choosing it or not choosing it. You
And
know?
a lot of this is based on the idea that that you're an infinite being with a body. And so if you're an infinite being, if that's light for you, if that's true for you, and if you have a sense of that, it's like, would an infinite being need anything? Would an infinite being want or lack for anything? Or would you be able to choose it and have it just for the fun of it by asking and receiving?
Well, sometimes too, it really is what contribution could her creating that be for someone else? Because we know someone else that actually bought a castle in Italy, and I remember talking to him the day he was going to look at a castle in Italy,
And really from a space of like, there's this possibility of elegance and beauty in the world, and restoring that and preserving that and having that be an invitation in the world for people, because there are so many places and ways in which things are done like on a budget and bottom line and very like economically, I guess. I don't even know, but not from this like beauty and craftsmanship. And then there are places where that is still being created, and so this is really designed to be an invitation to that possibility in the world.
Pamela Jung!
And
We're
so,
going to do
yes.
another Targets class. So one of the things that you were talking about, the points of view that people have that limit something like that, you'll notice, because again, what is true for you is always lighter, will always make you like lighten up and wag your tail and like champagne bubbles clink, okay? So, and what is heavy for you is a lie. So if somebody has the point of view that I can't have a castle, like, of course you can. Hi, Corey Melissa. We used to waitress together at the Saloon Restaurant. Hello. Hello. We were just cheersing. So if people have the point of view that they can or can't have something, they're right. They can or can't. Like, if you've decided you can't have something, you
are
can't.
very
So-
potent, powerful
we're
creators.
really big creators, and it's, it's funny because Corey's on there. I still remember when I told someone that I worked at the Saloon Restaurant that I was going to go back to school to be a psychologist, which is what I was going to do before I decided to be a chiropractor. And this woman said, "You can't. You're too old." I was 27, which, by the way, was younger than when my mom went back to school to be a psychologist, and my mom has been a psychologist for 50 years. I don't know how long she's been a psychologist. 40 or 50 years. But so it's like sometimes other people will want to limit you too. They'll be like, well, you can't. And if you buy into that at all, which I would never do it, because if you notice that it's heavy, it's made up.
Well, and here's the thing. People only accuse you of what they are doing. So if someone tells you they can't, it's because actually they can't.
Right. I still remember her saying that.
So
I was
it's
like,
not
yeah,
actually
that's made up and not
true
real. I didn't
about
buy
you.
into it at all because my mom had already paved the way for me to know that I could go back to school later. I could create whatever I wanted
Hi,
to create.
Adama.
Adama! So, well, Carolyn was saying...
Carolyn, your comment makes me just want to talk about KonMari.
Oh, yeah.
Which is based on
Truly.
this book, The Life-Changing Art of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo.
She may already know it.
If
'cause
you
Marie Kondo's
already
getting
know
pretty
about
big.
it. Yeah, I know she's on Netflix now. Everybody's like finding out about her. But
It's KonMari in
does
your
it
mind.
spark joy or serve a purpose? And I have been looking at this too because I've KonMari'd several times, and I was like, how much of what I've kept is based on what serves a purpose or because I need it for like once in a lifetime, like once every 10 years? And I was like, oh, if I went through and really looked at like really what sparks joy and created space from that, like how much lighter would my life be? How much more space
Well, you
and
can't.
joy and like fun? and even that, I mean, that's a great example of like how we kind of weigh down our life. We were talking before about like depression and like heaviness in your life. It's like how much of just the stuff creates like I was thinking about under my sink is a box of like oatmeal wash from like 2 roommates ago that I know is there, and it reminds me of this like cranky person who was a roommate that I was like, I really don't need that, and it doesn't serve a purpose.
Oatmeal wash. Wow.
Like
No.
from like Poison Ivy or something. It's like
I think you
and
can buy
there's-
it again. Like a lot of people
Right.
will hold on to
Like,
stuff because they have the point of view that they
I've
will
never
never be
had
able
Poison
to purchase
Ivy
it
in my
again.
whole life.
Right,
and
but
I
if
live
you
in
do,
a city.
I promise you can purchase some oatmeal wash again and like.
And it's like just having that like mental weight in my world. It's like, wow, I could choose to just get rid of that and create lightness.
Well, look what she just said. Remembering finally the old days when she was able to travel lightly. By the way, you're still able to travel lightly, if you'll notice. It's just a choice. And I really did. At one point when I wanted to move my office, but didn't realize it years ago, I went through my house and I got rid of everything. I mean, there were $350 shirts that I had never worn that seemed like an awesome idea at the time. And they would sit in my closet and kind of go, you were dumb. So my things were like laughing at me or whatever, whatever. I was aware of these things and making myself wrong because they still were in my home. And I happened to have two people staying with me that weekend that I weirdly double booked. I gave them like $10,000 worth of clothes. And they were so excited, they went out and had completely different lives with it. And so I just kind of, and then I just
So then
continuously.
maybe it was brilliant because you changed people's lives with those clothes.
Absolutely. I'm very brilliant. It's true.
And
So-
I wanted to just say, because you said to Carolyn about like traveling lightly, it's like it's just a choice, and it's not just necessarily a choice. It's choosing and
million
choosing
choices.
and choosing and choosing a million
Every
little
10 seconds.
choices, right? So it's the choice to like pull those clothes out of the closet and then put them aside and then invite the people and then give it to the people, and like it's the string of choice, but each little choice can either get us closer to what our big ask is and what we would like to create, or further from it. And that's that, like, what's true for you will always make you feel lighter. So if you're choosing based on that, each choice is going to get you more and more lightness and closer to the lightness. And just by being willing to be aware of that, to acknowledge what's true for you and also what you're interested in creating, and looking at like so many people live their life based on what their parents' point of view is, like, oh, you should be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or whatever, like, or you shouldn't be this or that, or like their friends' points of view or whoever else's point of view, and kind of sifting through all of that to like what's actually true for you. What are you actually interested in? What have you always known is possible for you that you haven't yet chosen?
Can I answer her question?
Yes.
Okay, because I was listening, but I got distracted by Carolyn's question. I apologize.
Yes.
So I'm sure you said something magical. So
It's okay.
So the point is, again, we talk about what's true for you always lighten you up. What is a lie is heavy. So when you go through your home, it's like you've just said too much. Too much is a judgment. And so it's not so much that you have too much. It might be that those are going to be a massive contribution to somebody else. And Elliot, when you said things drag you down, it's not the things, it's your points of view. But I do get that there's times that we are holding on to something energetically instead of gifting it out back into the world, selling it, whatever's going to create more. Putting it out on the street because maybe someone's going to, I weirdly haven't trash picked in 35 years since I had money. But someone had the exact same desk that I wanted from IKEA. It was sitting out in front of my house like half a block away, and it was already put together. I mean, the whole thing is I have to drive to the East Bay, and then I have to have somebody put it together myself. And I was like, I was asking for that desk. So I picked it up and walked it out into my house, and somebody took it in my office. Anyway, the point is, I don't really trash pick anymore. But when the universe delivers something with that much ease, I was like, frickety frack, I'm picking it up.
Well, right, and it's not necessarily like less is more, because sometimes you add something in, like a new piece of furniture, and it actually creates more space.
Or a new employee. I've done it with new employees in my business, or releasing an employee and having the whole energy of my whole office change.
So
it's just about
it's
energy.
Too much. It's like, what could you add to your life that would actually create more space and lightness? And it may be like a cabinet or an organizing system, so there's all different possibilities, and it's looking at asking the questions that gives you the awareness of what's true for you.
I really got the energy of when she said she wanted to travel lighter. I mean, would everyone like to actually travel lighter in their mind too?
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't? People have so many limiting points of view. It's so, yes, when you are grateful for what you have, what you truly desire kind of just shows up.
Gratitude is magical.
Would we like to just take a moment and be super grateful? I'm super grateful for my best
Gratitude in
friend.
action.
Okay. It's I'm super grateful for my friend Adele King because she continues to inspire me to be me.
A dressing room. That's fancy. I like
Ooh,
it.
a dressing room. I love it, Carolyn Wand.
I like it.
I don't know if you're putting it in the place you currently live or moving
That's
somewhere
part
else
of
fun.
my big ask is that one of those beautiful walk-in closet dressing rooms.
like Carrie from Sex and the City.
Yes.
Where it's like bigger than my house, and I live in a
Yes.
2-bedroom cottage that's worth, by the way, $1.4 million
I
in
do
San
look forward
Francisco.
to that conversation where I'm like, my closet is bigger than my first apartment.
And I see her doing that. It's weird. I think I like things a little not as gigantic,
like
but I'm
this.
willing to receive the money that would create that. Hi, Robert. So,
Hello.
yes. So our conversation today. I know we've kind of been wandering around a little bit. Yes, beautiful. I love it. Created it yourself. Is like if you look at your big ask, whether it's something for your life. For me, it's like having a business that runs itself. I mean, I get to just go into it. I have a friend who works 5 days a week. I have 5 days a month. Okay, yeah, but you can buy a new one, Carolyn. Even more awesome. You can buy a new, more awesome house.
How does it get even
Who can
better
help you with
than
that?
that house?
What does it take for that? You know, all that. That's even like juicier and it's greater than you can even imagine. And maybe it shows up in a way that you didn't even know was possible. Like me walking down the street and being, damn, that's the thing I was just going to buy. Cool. Okay, so
Well, and one of my favorite questions that you ask about any time that somebody has like a regret or a judgment that they did something wrong is like, what's
Dr. Hans?
brilliant about that? What's brilliant about selling the house with the beautiful walk-in closet? Like, what possibility did that create, and what were you aware of, and what choices do you now have because you chose to sell that house that you might not have had otherwise?
I did yeah. So I recently was asked the question, what's brilliant about every choice you ever made? And I was like, oh. And I went back and looked at every single thing that I thought was still like some sort of problem or limit or anything. And I saw what was actually brilliant about it. And I like just stepped in a completely different level of knowing, awareness, empath abilities, creative, all the things. So if you actually go back and you look at every single choice you've ever made and you ask yourself what's brilliant about it, and what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body to be what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be to be the infinite knowing, being, perceiving, and receiving I truly be. So like how brilliant actually are you about things? How often do you know something? And if you're not listening to yourself, maybe just start to listen to what's late for you.
Well, and for anything to not be working in your life, you actually have to cut off your awareness and be unwilling to know something or perceive something or receive something or be something. So if you were willing to perceive, know, be, and receive infinitely everything and be present with what is.
Yes, don't ever lie to yourself about what is. Be brutally honest with what actually is, either with yourself, or with yourself with whatever the situation is.
Yeah. And
I've hired people and had all these projected expectations because they said they would do this or do that they would do it. I didn't actually look at the energy. I didn't actually look at what I knew to be true about them. And it didn't work. So it cost me a lot of money. So I would recommend actually looking at what you know to be true about pretty much every situation. But only if you want to have a spectacular life. And one of the things that
definitely don't choose that.
Don't choose that, whatever you do. So one of the things I was thinking about too is there's a beautiful question in the How to Become Advanced Money. Good night, Carolyn.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for playing. Was the something? Is there something that you've asked for in your life that you won't let yourself actually choose energetically because you don't have the money to pay for it just yet? And it's one of the most beautiful questions. Andy Glavey, hi, buddy. Hello, Dr. Glavey. And so it was that thing of what is it that you are truly asking for that you won't let yourself choose energetically because Antonio, because you've decided that you don't have the money for it yet. Okay, and for me it was a house in Maui that I live in part-time and a house in Sonoma. Those were the two things that energetically I know I'm 100% in for. And yet I was like having some sort of, hi Cindy Anderson, she lives in Healdsburg. She used to be my trainer, hi. But those were the two things that I wouldn't let myself like really ask for. And the other day we were delivering a class called Hardwired to Win. And it's about everything where you're wired to win at things, but you can be wired to win at losing at something. Anyway, that just makes me laugh every time. It's from the book Unfuck Yourself by Gary John Bishop. You do win every time you lose then, because it's what you're wired to win at.
That's a fun way to make losing winning.
It is, though, actually. So, Gary John Bishop is a brilliant man. But wait, focus. Oh. So, but one of the questions in the handout that we put together for the class was, what are 6 things you've decided are impossible? And still on that list, when I took that class with myself, gifting it to other people on Thursday, was that the house in Sonoma and the house in Maui. And I mean, I just see my body there. I see myself there. I know that's happening. But what could I energetically choose now? And how easy am I willing to make that be? Like, what points of view have I decided that all the money has to come from me, or it doesn't have a mortgage, or that I couldn't fall in love with somebody who has homes in both of those places with a British accent? I mean, that's like fun. Cheers, right, Tony? So the point is, like, everywhere you've decided, judged, or concluded that you have to do it all yourself, or any of that shenanigans, will you really just give it up now? Give it up, okay?
And I know we're
Are you
talking about
are you willing to let the universe contribute to you? I mean, it's like this giant search engine that's molecules that move for us. We can actually create at will, unless we've decided that it's complicated to have something or get, receive something, or whatever that energy is where we've decided we don't deserve it, or some shenanigans.
Well,
Will you destroy and uncreate that too?
And I was just gonna say, I know that I'm talking about having a castle on an island, and Miko's talking about a home in Hawaii and Sonoma, and for each person, your big ask is going to be different than everybody else's.
It could be private school for your children.
It could be
a
farm
consciousness on the
middle
planet,
of
which is
I
my big
actually had
ask.
a friend who really wanted like a farm and a pickup truck in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but that's
and,
so
like,
cute.
It's so cute. I would never want it for myself, but it was really cute and sweet. And I was like, I fully support you in that. Have fun.
Have fun. And see, the thing is, like, if you really have all that, hi Gary, if you have all that energy going, like yes, that's the light energy that we're talking about. It's not the like, I can't have it.
And
Okay.
without any
It's the light of,
judgment
like,
that you
ooh, what
can't
would
have
that
it,
be
or
like?
that it's not the right thing to want, or that it's like whatever
Judgments,
it is.
schmudzments,
Blah.
so they're heavy, so they're a lie. So pretty much, if you just start looking at like, hey, what do I truly desire? What would be fun for me today? What would I like to create today? Who can contribute to that? What matters to me? What would I like? What contribution would I like to be? What am I willing to receive that I've never been willing to receive
And
before?
here's the
with
easy
total
part.
ease?
All you have to do is ask.
What?
You don't
Adele?
have to answer it.
Yeah, as a
The
matter of
universe
fact,
gets to answer it. Your awareness will go, oh, here's a thing that matches that will allow that is what I've been asking for from your knowing. Again, we were talking before about like
What do you
knowing
know?
instead of thinking about it. It's like you don't have to think about it. You don't have to answer it. You could just ask, and then it will show up. That's the easy part. Ask and you shall receive actually is a thing, and it works.
and everywhere you've decided how it will show up, which by the way is a little bit of control. Will you just try and
just a little bit.
just let it go. Littlest bit of control, okay? And so I know a little bit about control. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be out of control?
Well, and the thing is, so this is like the pragmatics of control is if you're like, I would love a new car, there's like a million ways that could show up, right? It could be a beat up Pinto, it could be a Maserati, it could be anywhere in between in terms of what that looks like. And the like, how it comes to you. Somebody could give it to you. You could win it in a contest. You could buy it. You could loan it. There's like 100 million different ways that a car could come into your life.
Hi, Barb.
But if you decide exactly how it has to look, it needs to be a blue
Can you just
Maserati that somebody gives me.
I like
That's
that. That's mine.
one way
No limiting thoughts
that it
there.
could show up.
Or Tesla.
And the universe is like, okay, it's going to be a
Matches
little bit
my eyes.
trickier to like rearrange the universe to give you that specific thing in that specific way.
So universe, what would you like to gift us all today?
It also makes it so that something greater than that can't show up. So if it was a blue Ferrari that somebody wanted to give you, and you're like, no, that's not a Maserati, because I have to control how it shows up
Maseratis
and
are
what it
sexier,
is
though.
that shows up.
Maseratis are so much sexier. So,
There's just a little bit of limitation
a
in
little
it.
bit of control.
You can still choose it,
Control. In the
It's
words
all your
of Janet
choice.
Jackson.
but just some information for you. on
Yeah.
that.
So look, are we willing to be out of control?
I am.
Out of limitation?
Yes.
Out of definition?
Yes.
Out of form, structure, significance?
Yes.
Right now? Can you choose that?
Woohoo!
What else can you choose today that's greater than
And-
you ever thought you could actually have? Like if you just started playing with the universe and give up all the very heavy points of view about anything that limits your body from healing, that limits your life from just being more ease and joy. For the people that show up that create that, like when I look at my target of having a business that runs itself with me just sort of at the helm, and that everything's just happening and beautiful people are getting better and healing, or my access business where people just show up that want to help me create it. I'm designing a series of posters too for corrective care chiropractors so that it makes it easier for people to know what we're actually doing. Okay, like with pre and post x-rays and just beautiful questions that are more about the possibilities that bodies have as they age. Because I'm aware of so much possibility for bodies and what they can have and how they can change and how everyone's decided they have to change with this or that. Why not ask a question? See what you're aware of. Like, how psychic are you? Like, do you know when your body's talking to you? Like, if you're in an elevator and you get like a weird vibe from somebody, maybe just like go like this, like get away, you know? Whoa, get away. So the point is, listen to your awareness.
I was just gonna say, and this really is what we do pretty much all the time.
Conversations to consciousness.
Conversations and consciousness and choosing and asking and creating more consciousness. And we love to create classes and workshops that invite other people who find this light and fun to come play with us and
To think bigger.
choose greater, cheese
have
greater,
more fun.
have more
Choose
fun.
greater. Choose greater.
In your life, because for you it's lightening people up, empowering people. For me, it's adding more joy to the world and allowing people to have their big ask as their life and empowering them to make that change from where they are to where they'd like to be.
One choice at a time.
One choice at a time, for sure.
How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I'd just change that to, if you decided that your big ask is an elephant, then maybe just one choice at a time.
Yeah. So if you're curious,
Pretty blue Tesla. There you go, Andy. She knows. She sent me a picture of it the other day.
Yeah,
it
there
is
you
so
go.
pretty.
you can have it. Oh, that's one.
Well, I
of
know
my
I could
favorite
get it right
games.
now. I'm just clear that I have some student loans and I'm paying them up first.
Have you ever played that
super
game?
Fast. Faster than I even can imagine.
Remember
Who
that
can help me
game?
with that?
The you ask for something that's a big ask.
Ooh, the sexy man.
You can have that.
Ooh, thanks.
Ask for
Ask for
else.
something. Oh, me still? House of Maui.
You can have it.
Thanks.
Do it again.
Wait, House in Sonoma.
You can have that.
Cool.
It's a really fun game. I highly recommend it.
More.
You can go.
3 doctors that work for me. They're so much fun.
You can have that.
Okay, thanks. That's the one I decided I can't have, by the way, so I'm going to destroy and create whatever that is. Right, wrong, good, about it. Okay.
I highly recommend playing this game with someone in your life because it's so much
So
fun.
does anybody want to say what you can have? Like, does anyone want to say? What's your big
Yeah,
ask?
what are your big asks?
What are your big asks? Play. No
Play
control
with
there.
us.
No control there. Come on, get your fingers typing. What's your big ask? Let's play with this. Let's create something magical together. Okay, nobody's playing. Okay.
It's there's a little bit
I'm
of a
ADD.
delay.
This
There's
is
a
too
little
slow.
delay, dude.
Okay. Well, everywhere you've decided and judged and concluded that you can't have just pretty much anything, just destroy it and create it, maybe. Whatever you do. Whatever space and consciousness can you and your body be to just receive everything with more ease than you ever imagined.
You can
Oh,
have that, Patty
vibrant,
Curry. You can
healthy
have
body.
a vibrant, healthy body.
You can have a vibrant, healthy body. Oh, look at the
Thanks
molecules.
for playing with us.
I think your body just got happy. It was like, thank you for asking. You can have that.
And because I know Patty Curry too, it's like, how much are you inviting other people to that with the body classes and what you're creating too? So it's like, it is, I feel like
Reverse
it is
aging.
so much often, right? Like, I just learned, Elliot, that
Sleep.
you're a chiropractor, so you're probably helping people have that too.
Ooh, what?
Didn't you say Elliot was?
No. Elliot lives
doctor.
in the hood.
Oh,
I met it.
Sorry.
I know him. He knows me. We know each other from
Reverse
TOs
aging.
too.
That's fun.
Reverse aging. So I wonder what you've decided, judged, and concluded that aging is that it isn't. You know, so, what if you didn't tell your body how old it was? I'm the worst at this, by the way. But so, like, apparently I don't look my age. I've had this body for that many years, so I think I do. But anyway, sleep. I was doing a session with someone the other day, and they said they hadn't slept for 30 years. And I said, it was like after a surgery. And I said, what did you decide, judge, and conclude after that? And she said that I'm dead. And I was like, well, that might be why you're not sleeping and you've created cancer more than once. And so we just got her to look at the fact that she decided to be dead. And then, she sent me a message the next day, oh my God, I'm so happy to be alive. And she's
I'm
choosing
in the
all these
hood.
fun things. Yeah. Financial peace.
You can have that, Sheila.
You can have that.
Here's-
It's just a choice. It's probably a choice every 10 seconds. What's it going to take to have financial peace right now with more ease than you ever imagined possible? And who can help you with that? And what books might you be able to read? What else would contribute to that? And who?
Here's
She doesn't do numbers on birthdays. Me neither.
what
I'm
do you do?
stopping.
Letters? Oh, I'm just kidding.
I'm at J times 2.
I do cocktails.
Yes, I do cocktails. I do cocktails anyway. But I love that. Don't do money. So we can have that. We can have reverse aging, Tesla.
I really just
Maserati?
want all
Thanks
of
you
that
guys so
and
much
more.
for playing. What else do you truly
just-
desire that you've never thought you could ask for?
I'm like bursting at the seams. So I am so excited. I'm so excited because we have a class coming up.
Oh, I was like, what? I'm excited
Mika
too.
is facilitating that has so many amazing tools and questions for
Like 100.
creating all of these beautiful big asks, including reverse aging and making sleep easier for people who have a hard time with that, and financial peace. Like all of these things that seem sometimes impossible for people, there are tools that make it so fun and simple and fast and easy. And this class has over 100 of those tools. And us to play with.
And us. There is that. A
This
foundation.
particular one.
We like
A
to do
foundation.
foundations.
Full of
But you can be
possibilities.
very serious if you need to be. You can be very significant.
That's
and
coming
meaningful.
up. And if you're curious,
If you're
We'll
curious,
post
PM me or her, and the foundation is
details
coming up
below.
on March 7th. It's 4-day class,
March 7th
and
to 10th.
it's an Access Consciousness class, and it's brilliant. The brilliant tools that changed my life. Just even one of the tools was when somebody told me fear wasn't real. I'm like, what? Fear isn't real? Because I was one of those people that was like afraid all the time. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm
Sheila.
afraid. Yeah. Hi, Sheila. And then when someone said fear isn't real, I was like, then what is it? And she goes, well, truth, are you really excited? And I was like, oh my God, that I'm pretty much excited about everything all the time.
time.
People that know me know that. And I really am. I'm excited about everything all the time. And if I'm not, it's really weird and I'm not being me. And it's pretty rare. It's like less than 1%. But
just imagine
the
what
point
your
is,
life
what if
would
you
be
didn't
like
have to
if
be
you were still
afraid?
being afraid.
Like, I wouldn't have moved to California with $2,000 and started my own business. Like, my cat is totally eating something behind us if you can hear it.
He's playing with a crunchy leaf.
Zecca Schmoodle Doodle.
So fun.
He's the cutest.
He knows how to have fun too.
Anyway, but yeah, if you know someone that's looking for a foundation class or more ease or more consciousness, there's a class you have to take before that. Bars if you haven't already taken it. But if you know someone, send them this video and maybe it'll inspire them to come play with us and generate, create, institute, and actualize more consciousness in their life. Because you know what? It's the most fun ever. Because being here for your life is the only thing that matters. Otherwise, you absolutely miss it.
For sure, it's way more fun when you show up for your life. I know, because I've
Right now
spent
is
a
where the
lot of
fun
time
is.
not doing that, and then popping in, and then popping out, and then popping in. Way more fun when you're here.
I feel like one of those people that woke up from like a weird coma 3 years ago. I was going to say that story, but maybe we said it the other day about the woman who said to me, we said it in the email, where one of my patients said to me, this access consciousness, it allows you to access being conscious and in the moment so you can choose. And I was like, what? That's why they called it that? I chose access consciousness because I wanted to feel less yucky about my life.
You get it when you get it.
You get it when you get it, by the way. So, like, pretty much if you'd like to actually be here in your life and enjoy it, I'm spectacular at that. And so is this little cutie. To best friends. You guys are playing fun. Does anyone else want to say anything else about a big ask? And we're going to contribute to you actualizing it. You can't. Just kidding, you can. So,
A beautiful mansion and a beautiful castle.
you can have that. It's just a choice. What will you choose today that you never considered to create more consciousness, more joy, ease, kindness in the planet? Right away. Everything doesn't allow that, will you destroy it and create it all?
Yeah. You can have that,
And a
Sheila.
nurturing place to live. You might just want to ask yourself the beautiful question of, where does my body want to live? Where does it want to live? What town, what country, what state, what space would be nurturing for me? Or whatever energy you're looking for. If you're looking for nurturing, kind, caring, generative energy, which is like my favorite kind of energy, or super fun energy, just ask what kind of energy you're looking for.
Bars clients. You can have that, Adama.
You can have that, Adama. I just helped Adele move her home into creating a more nurturing space for the clients, and it's almost like it created a vacuum, and I was able to refer her a client that day that was able to show up to the
Definitely
nurturing
inviting
space.
and creating.
Yeah.
So what could contribute to you all having your big asks showing up as easy asks?
You guys are so cute. Thanks for being
Thank
magical.
you so
Okay.
much for showing up and playing with us today.
And if you know somebody for foundation,
And for
it's
your-
coming up.
and
And if
for
you
your
want to be,
input and
yeah, it made it fun.
conversation
Appreciate
with
it.
us.
We are super grateful. And if you want to be anybody who's not already on our email list to know about any upcoming classes, because we create a lot of like fun, cool classes based on the books I'm reading and the conversations we have. So they're a little different than a lot of the access classes.
Yeah, if you want to sign up for our mailing list, you can go to drchristinamecum.com.
And she'll put the
sign
link
up
in the
there.
bottom. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, cuties. Have a super Sunday. We're signing off.